So this tank behind me was home to a load of Cory catfish that I had. It was like a setup just for them, but I had to upgrade them to a bigger tank. Well, I didn't have to upgrade them, I wanted to. I upgraded them to a bigger tank, and that meant I had to just take apart the whole thing, otherwise there was no chance of catching them. Now the thing is, the substrate system and the aquasoil in bags, that's a method I use to provide nutrients to all the plants, that is all so well established, along with the little internal filter as well. It's doing so good that I don't want to kind of remove that and have to redo all that again. So I'll show you right now how I actually set that up, and then we'll just take off from here. And what I've been doing with a lot of my tanks recently is taking these mesh bags that you can see there and putting aquasoil into them, and then just putting them underneath the sand layer. This way, when like whatever fish we choose to put in, well in this case it's Cory, so they sift through the sand, don't they? If the aquasoil is in these bags, it won't get pushed up and into the sand, it won't look a mess, it won't mean I constantly have to keep picking bits out, because there's nothing more annoying than that. So yeah, aquasoil in these bags first. Okay, there we go, we've got our nutrient layer in. We can now cap the whole lot of this with some decorative sand, or the sand that we're going to be seeing, you know, when we look into the Aquascape. Now, if you want to get hold of these mesh bags, I'll leave a link in the description. I think they're used for like laundry purposes. I'm not sure though. Anyway, they've got plastic zips on them, the whole thing's made of plastic, so there's no rust or anything like that. They work really, really well. And the roots of any plants can just penetrate them so easily, it's all good. Plus, the best thing about it, you can reuse the aquasoil because it's not cheap, is it? So the fish that we've got here is like a completely mixed bag. That's the idea. It's going to be a sort of community aquarium. I'll be adding some more ones as well, some really interesting ones. We've got 4 ember tetras that seem to stay together right in the middle of the tank at all times. We've got some female endlers and some male endlers, as we're seeing down there. We've got sparkling gouramis, we've got bristlenose plecos, albino ones, or actually no, I don't think they are albinos, they're the leucistic ones, I think. So they've got like blue eyes, I think, anyway. And we've got some killifish as well. I'm not entirely sure what kind of killifish they are at all, to be honest. So the first thing I need to do is drain down the water a bit so I can catch all of these, put them in a temporary tank. I want most of these to go back in. Oh, I'm forgetting. Of course I am. All of the absolutely tiny pygmy Corys that we're seeing down here. It's even struggling to focus on them, they're so small. But yeah, I've got a group of about 20. They won't be going back in here because I want to do a completely, like, I want to do their own setup in like a nano tank, like a shallow style paludarium thing with branches. Yeah, I'll get to that later on in another video, but for now it's all about the sort of middle and top swimming fish. So all the water's out and I've sort of cleaned up the glass. Like, I don't spend too long on that. Some people do, they get it perfect. But it's not a glass cleaning channel, it's a fish tank building channel. So that's what we're doing next. I want to go for a really cool sort of triangular composition coming this way with chunky wood. So it's not like really fine detailed. And then lots of plants that sort of go behind it and spread into the foot. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So first of all, I've got this cool piece of wood here. It's like, look at that, it just looks wicked straight away, doesn't it? It needs to be raised up though, so I will raise it up with something. And I kind of feel like it needs to continue as well in some way, so I'll give that a go. I'll tell you what, if I can bring it this way, I sort of have something there, and here maybe, I don't know yet. I feel like it should be brought up on rocks though, so I've got this big one here. I'm just trying stuff at this stage, remember guys, I've got no idea what I'm doing at the moment. As if I ever do though. Something like that maybe. Could work. Looking good so far. Then another piece of rock down the bottom just to take some of that angle out. Not too much though. You know what, actually I don't think that works. Take that away, let it go back down again. Yeah, that was actually better. Maybe have this down level with it, just to continue that colour sort of theme. In fact, go back a bit more, go back, go back, go back, there we go. And I've got another smaller piece, which I'm thinking can go over here somewhere. It's quite big actually, don't know what I meant by smaller. Yeah, nothing like that. I'm gonna have a play around and then it'll be done. Right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So we've got like that main angle there, we've got this striking piece coming up, and then this one is slightly sort of twisted outwards so that it's following a different line, but in the overall same direction. I've deliberately left loads of gaps. I normally fill up hardscape there, hardscape there. I want to do a lot more planting in this one, bigger plants, but therefore I just want these pieces being the main focal point, and I think they're doing a good job of that. It looks like they're falling in a natural way, and that's what I'm really going for with this setup. Now we're going to need more sort of detail stones and things like that as well. I'm going to fill in that gap in there as well with a few pebbles, and that will just sort of create a barrier so we can fill out the back section with even more substrate, because coming around here, look, you can see, yeah, there's nowhere near enough for the planting height that I want, so I'm going to bring it right up. So I just pulled some of the sand from that back area because it wasn't going to be serving in purpose, brought it to the foreground to fill out some of the sort of areas that we didn't have very much. Now that means that this area is really low, so I'm going to add some more of the aquasoil bags like that there, and just build up this whole section here so we've got way more height. Boom, look at that, we've got the height at the back now for sure. Well, we will have. Now on top of that is where we put gravel. I find gravel on top of the aquasoil bags just works so well. And then if we want to sprinkle some sand on top of the gravel, which will eventually mix in, of course, it does help to sort of grip the roots in, which, oh, I just, it wasn't full of water, thank goodness for that. Yeah, the joys of creating. Like, I've got the shop vac on standby, a rock just placed in the way to trip over at any point. Silly me. So yeah, get some gravel in there now. There we go, all done. Now I actually got this gravel from my dad's driveway. I went in there with a bucket, filled it up. It's all safe though, it wasn't where any cars are parked and that, so we're all good. Now this wood has never been underwater, so I'm pretty sure it's just gonna float straight to the top. To avoid that happening, we're gonna use some cyanoacrylate super glue gel. I use the Gorilla stuff, I've told you this many times before. This is fish, shrimp, plant safe, all of that. It basically dries as a hard plastic. What you have to do is put it in between two contact points and leave it for like half a day or something, and then it's completely solid, and yeah, you shouldn't get any problems. Make sure that there's lots and lots of points of contact, otherwise you do run the risk of it sort of breaking off and floating up. Yeah, you don't want that. It's such a nightmare when that happens, and it has happened to me many, many times as well. So we're all glued down. Now I know you can just put that wood in like water or boil it and all that sort of stuff to get it sink, but I have not got the time or patience or inclination to do that at all. This for me is like the quickest way. You know, I'm gonna go and have some lunch now. When I come back, that'll be sort of stuck enough to just keep working, and as we keep working, it gets harder and harder and harder. I mean, even now, to be honest, I can see that it's pretty firmly in place. I'm moving that quite hard and it's not going anywhere. Right, I'm now looking at this thinking I might wanna make a few alterations to some of the hardscape. See, I'll put some of these thinner branches on just to add a little bit more interest in some of the areas. There's going to be plants, but you know, I'm not sure. I'll just leave that there for now. I feel like we definitely need some height in this back area. Again, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it. Obviously, I'm going to glue these pieces on. Maybe that works. Or we just go into, should I just keep it simple this time? Take them all off, look. I mean, that is very simple. I can always add some more wood, like I can attach them to some rocks, place them on there at a later date, or even drain the water. I think I'll go for less to start with, and if I want to add more, maybe I can. I mean, these two pieces of wood do look like they've naturally just sort of fallen in. That piece in the middle is very much in the middle, and it's very kind of straight, but when we've got plants around it, it should help it, do you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, because I don't know what I mean, so I'm just winging it. Always just wing it. Just want to tidy out this sort of front section here. It's a little bit all over the place at the moment. I don't want it too thick. A little bit, like ½ inch, is that? I'm so rubbish at estimating like inches and things like that. We use centimetres. That's about 1.5 centimetres. There we go. Whenever I do this, I don't spend like too long doing it because I'm not that worried about getting it perfectly straight. Just as long as there's like an even distribution of everything. That looks pretty good to me. Just going to pat some of these bits down so they're not all poking up. Oh, all my wood's completely set now. I'm moving it loads. I banged that one then and it still didn't sort of break off, which is great. That's also good because it means when I've got to do maintenance to it later on, I can be a little bit rough and it won't matter, it won't snap, it won't float. Mind you, by that point, it'll be sort of waterlogged anyway, so we're all good. So that is the main structure sorted out. And now it's just about adding extra details. Like all along this bottom section here, I think it's going to look good to have even more of these rocks, but just like sort of smaller ones coming out at different angles. And then what that means is we can line this whole area with different sort of epiphyte plants, you know, plants that stick onto the decor. We've got Anubias, we've got loads of boosters. I've got a ton of boosters actually. I think I might go really boost heavy on this one because with plants all in the background, I think this front area is going to be a little bit more shaded. Sometimes boost in like low-tech tanks doesn't like a blasting of light, so that'll probably work quite well. But yeah, the key here is going to be lots of different areas, flat surfaces, like nooks and crannies to be able to get those plants onto. And to be honest guys, at this point I'm not even using the matching stone. I think that's Sirius stone. I think this is mountain stone. I think that's what it's called, or elephant skin, something like that. It's not the same anyway, but it's all pretty much grey, and to me, that'll do. So I'm quite liking some of this so far. Again, we can build up more and more as we go. Height's quite good, angles are good. If you look at that currently, that's all on like a matching plane, which to me doesn't look very good. So I'm just going to push some in, and then that gives me a platform to place some more on here maybe. I don't know, I'm just going to wing it and do it as I go along. Bring that out a bit, just because it was in a straight line and now it's like that, much better. Yeah, and then I can cram in a nice big bit like that, for instance. Look at that, we've got a lovely platform now for, you know, some decorative plants. That looks good. And there's some more over on this side as well. Just look for the most decorative part of the stone, just place it in. This one in there. Look at that. Ah yes, looking sweet. Now we can make this whole thing come alive with some detail gravel right in front of these rocks. Now some people don't do that, they like those clean sort of edges, like that's kind of like the ADA way. I really don't like it that much. I think it looks too sterile, so I like to go with full detail. And recently I used these little pebbles you can see here in this no filter Betta ecosystem. Where's my Betta? Where are you, buddy? Come out, wherever you are. There he is. Come on. Hello. How you doing? This is the fish with no name, Dumbo Platinum Betta fish. Anyway, the gravel, yeah, it's nice little rounded river ones. I just think they look great, don't they? Realism, yes. And as always, what do? We chuck them in. I don't do any of this stuff like I just very not carefully, just chucking it all in, right close to the rocks, like, and just kind of let it fall wherever it wants to fall. I often find that the more careful you are of this, the less realistic it looks. What's also good is it adds another little bit of thickness or weights, if you like, for you to be able to plant into that area if you want to. There's a gap in there. I'm going to fill that in with gravel as well because I don't want detritus getting caught in that section. So that looks fantastic. And then I like to go over some of the gravel at the back as well. Not all of it, because most of it you won't see, but some at the edges you might. And then this way all you're going to see is the plants and one sort of type of gravel, the decorative gravel. Oh yes, we look so good. Right, I just want to crack on. Let's just get the plants in. I'm going to go for all the Anubias and things like that first. I've actually got some floating in this tank here, which is, it's not got any fish in, it's massively overgrown. It's kind of like a holding tank. And if you look up the top here, there we go. I've got like some big pieces, it's very bright, but I've got some big pieces of Anubias there. They'll need to sort of go through it and cut off any bad bits, but most of it's good. I've got a few more bigger bits as well. Yeah, we've got loads to choose from. I've kept some swords that are going to go in this tank as well. Oh, can't wait. think that's looking so good. Now I want to add my fern. I've got a trident fern here. Now I was going to place it in the middle like that, but I think if I do that, you lose that separation between the two pieces of wood. Do you? Actually, I'm looking at it there, but through the camera, it kind of works, doesn't it? It kind of actually just brings it all together quite nicely, and I can see then some really good background plants looking awesome. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think I'll leave it there. Or possibly the other option was to put it higher. I've got a rock on this, by the way, so it stays sunk wherever I leave it. If I could put it like, say, if it stays for me, there, it gives us a bit more height. How is that looking? Actually, I think that might be better. Yeah, I think that's the way to go, isn't it? Put it there, we've got a bit more height, and we're not completely blocking off that channel in the middle, because I know the fish would like to swim through that as well. We'll go with that, done. Sometimes it's best to look through the camera. Most of you won't be doing it with a camera, but imagine you're taking photos, look through your phone, it frames it so nicely, and for me, yeah, I think that's best. Because it also then carries this line down, doesn't it? Oh, look at the details, looking so good, all the different buses and the Anubias. Oh, I cannot wait to get some fish in here. And do not forget to spray your plants down as well. Keep them misted at all times. Epiphyte plants don't dry out quite as quick and they're a bit tougher, but stems, definitely you need to. I also now want to add in a little bit of dwarf hairgrass. You can't really see it in there, but yeah, Tropica 1-2 Grow this is. They come in these little packets, got a little liquid in them. One pot actually goes quite far, so I probably only need one. I only want a little bit of detail coming out some of these sort of little corner crevicey bits. I think that'll look good. We're looking so good now, aren't we? Just those little tufts of green, a little bit of detail. I actually like that more than having like a full carpet, if I'm honest. I'm not a massive fan of carpets. I just find they're a bit like, I like detail, I suppose. It's just personal preference. And to me, like what we're seeing here is just tons of detail, isn't it? I'm gonna fill it up now, so then when I put my stem plants in, which is mainly what goes in the background, I know how they're gonna sit. It's just personal preference and how I like to do it. It also means I can take my time and I don't have to worry about these plants drying out then. Yeah, we're filled up and ready to go, and it's time to switch the filter on. Now, I've not really said much about the filter. It's just a little internal one. It just pushes a lot of water around, basically. It's not got like loads of media and everything in it, but the whole tank is media. Like, look at this at the side. All of that is gonna like harbor beneficial bacteria, so we don't need to worry about that side of things. And the proof of that is in the pudding, to be honest. So for instance, my big 4-foot Amazon tank here, a lot of fish in here, and look, the only filter is the same one that we've got there. And is also the same in the case of this tank here. This is the rare fish ecosystem. And you can see back there, look, there is the little internal filter. It's fallen down, but to be honest, I just leave it there. It just can blow where it wants in the background. And look, everything is going so well in this tank. It's got quite a nice little green hue at the moment. It's because I need to scoop out some of that duckweed all over the top. And also it's the same here in the rainbow fish aquarium. Back here is where we keep the little internal filter blowing all forwards, and these fish just love the high flow. Look at them dancing in it. And then again, just the same for the angelfish aquarium, tucked right at the back there. You can see the spray bar just coming out. Sprays all at the top. Actually, it needs cleaning because not a lot of flow going on there. There is a little bit though. Oh, they all think I'm about to feed them. No, I'm in the middle of a build, guys. Just be patient. Right, it's time to switch the filter on. I'm expecting some clouding over the next few days. There we go. Go, go, go. Yes. Okay, right, good flow. Yeah, it's a little bit misty in there right now. That's fine. That's just like gunk that was left on all the sponges. Because remember, it's a cycled filter we've got there. So this tank is completely cycled now. We've got the substrate we had in there before, and we've got that dirty sponge. I'll just keep that going. Usually I'll clean it out, seeing as we're doing like a new tank, but it's a really good idea just to keep it. I might clean it out over the next few days or so. But at the moment it's working really well. We've got great surface agitation. Look, because of that sort of wave that's going all over the top, we're gonna get great gas exchange as well, and we're gonna be onto a winner. Loving it so far. So it has been a few days now since I actually filled the tank up, because I've been at my local fish store building this 8-foot tank. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So we've got that to look forward to. But I've come back and it's all completely clear. All the micro bubbles have gone, so we're ready to move on to the next stage. I mean, not that we needed the micro bubbles to go to move on to the next stage, but it does look really good, doesn't it? Look at that. Loving it so far. Lots of reflections in the back area. That's because we've got no plants, so it's just bouncing off the black background. Let's start getting some more of the plants in. I've got a really nice Amazon sword I want to get in somewhere. I'm thinking this area here would look great for that. And then I'm just going to make it up as I go along.
new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive.
Oh, so far so good. I mean, I'm dirtying up the water a little bit, but that's fine. I'll be able to do a quick water change. To be honest, most of that get picked up by the filter. It's quite large particles. I can just, you know, scoop it out. We're all good. Get some stems in now, because those swords, there's two of them is enough, I think. They're probably going to grow massive anyway. Get some stems in, it's going to help with water quality and just general sort of fullness. Don't want too much more though. I think that's looking pretty good so far, don't you? Yeah, so going with some Limdophylla now. What I absolutely love about this plant is not only is how fast it grows, but also the sort of bushiness that you get straight away with it. Absolutely love that. Now, because I'm planting all of these with quite a few sort of, I don't know, clumped together stems, I'm not using tweezers, I'm just pushing them into the gravel with my hands. That works quite well. I feel like this one's a little bit too high. Try and pull it out on its own. There we go. Trimmed it a bit shorter, and I can use the tweezers to actually get it to the height that I want it. There we go, that's much better. A few more as well. Now I've also got some Nymphoides Taiwan here, if it focuses, there we go. Nymphoides Taiwan, some of the top leaves aren't looking the best at the moment, but give it some time and this is gonna look so good. It goes massive and bushy and bright and green, and it's quite easy to grow as well. And then I'm just going to finish off this back corner with a bit of Liliopsis brasiliensis. This will sort of carpet all around here and fill it in really nicely. A little bit more sort of finer details as well. So that's looking awesome. It's now just a case of taking out some of this like crud and bits of leaves and stuff, and then we can go and get some more fish to add to the group that we've already got. I want a sort of focal fish as well as all the mix and match fish that I've got. Matthew.
Morning. Or afternoon or whatever it is.
That was not a good reaction for someone sneaking up from you. You should be lashing out, not laughing at them.
It's a safe space here. No one. It's a gentle, calm, safe space. There's no need to be lashing out here.
So remember the other day I said to you I was doing my natural like Nano heaven tank. It's like 3 foot. I've got quite a few fish already, but I want like one school feature fish, and you happen to be right near it. Well, this were here last time. I think it's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes. It is a glow light Danio. But look how cool they are.
They're so pretty with those like that orange flash and then the black sort of tigery stripes that vertical. They're so cool.
My camera can't really pick one up.
They're really annoying because they're so fast.
There we go, got them.
They've got amazing details, but they're just too quick.
Mesmerising, isn't it?
They need to slow down a little bit.
Okay, so what's a good school number?
Really anything over, like the more obviously the more the better, but I would say anything over around 10. They're a small fish, so they're not going to get massive. They've not got that massive amount of bio load. Yeah. So I think anything over 10 would be good, really.
10 would be cool. I'm going to go with 10 of those, and then I'm going to have a look and see if there's anything else as well, which there probably will be.
I'm sure you'll find something that takes your fancy.
Yes, those and those and those and... Ooh.
To be fair, they only just
came
in
goodness.
last night.
These are pencil fish of a sort, aren't they?
Yeah, coral red pencil fish.
Oh, I would like 5 of them too, please. Is 5 good?
Yeah, a little shoal of them would be ideal.
No, yeah, I definitely want those. I mean, look at the reds. They're so coloured up. Wicked, yeah, okay, 5 of those, please, and then 10 of the glow lights. And then that'll add yeah, I've got quite a few other fish in there already, so...
Have you moved them over from the other one? Yeah.
No, they were what's left. So I moved the Cories across, but it's like a mixed bag. It's like a retirement tank.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
So, nice. Yeah, I just think, and I'll probably add more to that as well.
Never know what you'll find there.
Well, like, you know, my rare ecosystem tank is just, when I came in here, we had a mixture of like 10 of 10, like 10 different species and 10 of each. And that is my absolute favourite tank. There's just stuff going on all the time. So I'm kind of trying to go for something like that again, but with different fish.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That's my thing with having those groups of mixed fish. You find that like everyone's doing something different at any one time. Yeah. You know, there'll be some hiding in the plants, there'll be some schooling around the front. Yeah. There's always interest going on, and different times of the day you'll find the males might be displaying to the females. Yeah, it's great.
I know you're not a massive fan of the whole pick and mix style, but it works in a big tank, doesn't it? If you've got big enough numbers of each species.
Yeah, that's it. I don't like a pick and mix tank when you've got like a 60 litre and you've got like
one neon,
a cardinal, a rummy nose and something else, because it just, you get no behaviour or no natural behaviour out of them. But no, in a big tank where you can have groups of each one, it works a treat.
Sweet. Bag them up. So I'm back from the fish shop and it's time to start catching all the fish out of this tank. Don't worry, it's not aquascaped. It kind of looks like it a little bit. That's why the water's down low. It's just a place to hold like some booses. They're on rocks. some Java ferns and things like that. I mean, that filter is just gently trickling along, but it's all good. It'll be easy to catch them, we'll just have to remove everything first. An annoying job, but one that must be done. Right then guys, here we go. The first fish going in. All the temperatures are matching in here, by the way, because I keep the temperature of the rooms like heated, not the individual tanks. Oh, look at that. As soon as you put fish into a tank, it comes to life. To me, it's nothing but a sort of picture until it's got life in it, and then it becomes a fish tank, obviously, because there's fish in it. So I'll give these guys a little bit to settle down, and then I'm going to put in the new fish that we just bought. And they are just currently chilling in this bucket here. Don't think we'll be able to see them, to be honest. But yeah, so I'll put them in this bucket so that they're temperature acclimating, because this water's the same as the room temperature, which is the same as the other studio, and yeah, you get it. So we're now ready for the glow light Danios and the coral red pencil fish. Here they come, look at that. Oh, they're such nice colours. Come on, all of you. There you go. Wow, so vibrant. Glow lights, look, they've all gone in this area here. They've all got really good colours on them already. Where's the pencils gone? Pencils? Okay, whoa, there's one there. I mean, you can't really miss that guy, can you? Stunning, right next to the killifish there as well. And then I just saw an Amano, there's a couple of Manos down there. Oh, this tank looks wicked. So that's, there's the rest of them. They're all at the back section there. Yeah, they'll come forward in their own time. See, I left this little gap down the middle here, like I said, because I knew the fish would want to swim down it. So hopefully we see some of that in a bit. There we go, it's happening already. I don't know, just because I've set up so many tanks now, I'm kind of like seeing patterns of how they like to swim and interact with the actual aquascape. And straight away, look, coming through them. I think I just saw a coolie loach at the back there. Oh my goodness, sorry, I'm getting distracted by everything. This is so cool. Look at the colours of those coral red pencil fish. Guys, if you are interested in these and you live near Maidenhead Aquatics in Wellington, you need to get down there because these are going to be gone fast, aren't they? Look at that schooling. That schooling is insane. Oh, wow. I mean, the glow light Danios, they school so great anyway, but it's like they're pulling all the other fish in with them. So cool. Really, really pleased to escape though. I think it looks awesome. A much more natural look than I usually go for, because I'd pack that background area of plants there. You wouldn't even see any black, would you? But I didn't want to do that on this one. I want it to look like, I don't know, kind of like a much more natural fallen wood. I mean, a nurse log, I think that's what it's called, when all other plants fall and grow on dead wood. And oh, look at this. Loving this so far. Hopefully you guys are loving it too. It's turned out brilliant, and I'm really pleased with the look of it. I don't normally use this colour gravel, you see, sand to be honest. It's the Colorado ADA. It's a bit more yellow than I'm used to, but with those darker contrasting pebbles, I think it works so well. Oh my goodness, you know what guys, I've just realised I haven't put any of the bristlenose back in. How have I forgotten them? Actually, I know how I've forgotten them, because you can barely see them. There's one there, I think there's one the other side of it, and there's one hiding underneath that rock, so I'll get them out and put them in too. Now for the bristlenose plecos, I've got 2 albinos in there and 1 lemon blue eye. Come on then, there you come. No, come, there we go. There we go, perfect. I love the sort of yellowness to the albinos. I think they stand out and look great. I feel like the fact that they stand out so well makes them more of a feature than just a cleanup crew, do you know what I mean? The dark ones, they're all very good at their job, don't get me wrong, but you can rarely see the dark ones unless they come on like a high contrasty foreground like the sand. But these guys, look, you can just see them everywhere, and they are so good. If you're worried about food for them, don't be. This lighting and the fact that I haven't used an absolute ton of plant, well, it is quite a few plants, but they're not really, really fast growing apart from that little patch of limnophila. There is going to be plenty of food for these guys to munch on within days. And to be honest, they've got all this wood here as well. Quite a lot of these plants, like that one there, and all of the Bucephalandra and the Nubus Petit, that's all from other tanks. So there's biofilm, there's everything. There's going to be plenty for those guys to have for food, and the Amano shrimp, to be fair, as well. So remember guys, I'm able to add fish straight away with no problems because the filter has been running on this tank for months and months and months. It's all fully established. Combine that with a massively mature substrate and a ton of plants going in here, it means there's plenty of beneficial bacteria in here to be able to combat any waste that these small nanofish are producing. One of the main reasons that I actually love nanofish is that you can put a big school in like this and they don't really produce a huge amount of waste. It's not like putting a ton of big cichlids in there, is it? Now this tank should progress at a really steady pace, which is perfect for me. The only real fast growing plant in here is the limnophila at the back. and it's so easy just to snip and replant. We'll have a nice big bushy background in no time. We've also got all those endless in there as well, which are going to be reproducing constantly. Now, in a really heavily populated tank like this, quite a few of the babies will get picked off, but some will survive, especially as the plants grow more and more and more and provide tons of hiding places for those babies. Now, I am expecting the Amazon swords to get pretty huge, but they grow in a sort of rosette style, so from the inside out, which means that most of the time the biggest leaves are the outside leaves, so all you've got to do is just trim them off down at the base, and you should be continually left with a nice compact plant that's not too big for the tank. Now, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be watching the tank closely. Firstly, I'm going to be looking for signs of algae. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of algae, that's fine, but if it starts getting to levels that are uncontrollable by the crew that we've got in there, the cleanup crew, we've got the bristlenose plecos, and we've got the Amano shrimp. If it starts getting more than they can handle, I'm going to have to start blocking some of the light with some floating plants. I'll use salvinia or something like that. You can use duckweed, you can use red root floaters, Amazon frog bit, all of them really, they're all good. But again, I don't really want to be blocking the light down to the plants unless I actually have to. And the amount of algae that's in the tank will dictate whether that's needed or not.